Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to make something that's practical and useful. I'm going to teach you guys how to make a slip cover for a pillow that you can change out for fall. So I went outside and got creative today with some leaves, and I'm going to show you how to use what's in nature to make things come alive in a pattern. So go outside, find the leaves that you want, and come back in and join me. So the first thing you're going to want to do is get some heat and bond. If you did not see my video last week, we went over how to applique a pumpkin onto a sweatshirt, and I went over the 9-patch. I also went over how to do some actual strips together. So there's lots of options. But today we're going to continue with fall projects. And so I went outside and I found some leaves in my yard that I wanted to trace for my pillow cover that we're going to make today. So as you can see, I have found 3 different colors and sizes, and that doesn't really matter. They're all from the same tree, but these 2 I picked. This one was on the ground. It's a little bit firm, but not enough that it's going to crack yet. So when you're picking out the leaves from outside, just try to get something that's still flexible, because what you're going to do is just take your Sharpie and do like we did last week, and you're going to just trace around the outside of the leaf, and then you're going to cut that out on the heat and bond. Once you have your leaves picked and traced onto your heat and bond, then you will just choose whatever piece of fabric you want, and you will actually cut those out on your fabric. So I have gone ahead and used the pumpkin from last week that I had, and I have actually went ahead and appliqued it down to a block, and then my leaves were added as extra pieces. And as you can see, these were what I traced, and then I just turned them different directions on my fabric so that it would look as though they were falling. And so it's just random, however you want it to look. You can put yours any way that you want. And then I went ahead and appliqued all of the leaves where I wanted those to go, and I went ahead and found the center of my block by folding it in half both ways and then creasing the center so that I could get my pumpkin kind of in the center. So this is going to be the front of my pillow cover, and this block measures 21.5 inches, and you are going to need 2 additional 21.5-inch squares. And for the other 2, we are going to fold them in half with right sides together, and we're going to line that up on top of the Appliquéd block. And what we want to do is take the raw edges and put those to the top and the bottom. And you'll get all of your edges aligned. And then you can clip it and pin it in place. We're going to do the same thing with the other one that is folded in half at the top. And you want your raw edges to also line up with the top. And what you will notice is that we're going to have an edge here that is not going to be raw because we folded it in half, and this is going to give us the opening that we need to slip our pillow in for the pillow cover. So get your pieces cut out for your blocks. I do want to mention the reason my blocks are the 21.5-inch squares is because I have a 20-inch pillow. And so if you want to leave a little room around the pillow and not have it full, you can just go up an inch or an inch and a half. But whatever size pillow you have, at least give yourself a 1/2 inch bigger if you do want it to be completely full and fluffy. So if you have a 16-inch pillow, then you can do a 16.5-inch block, or a 17-inch block if you want a little extra room when you put your seams together. And so I just want to make sure you do that based on the pillow size that you have. So I'm using a 20-inch pillow, and I'm giving myself an extra inch that I can work with. And that way, if I do decide that I want my seams to come in some, I have room to pull my seams in. Now I'm going to sew this a 1/4 inch seam all the way around. So I will be sewing all the way around the top, the sides, the bottom, and back up. And this is going to be how I flip it. Now you can also sew a stitch right here if you want this to not be loose. You can just kind of finish that off if you'd like before you start, and then finish off by putting it together. So grab what you need, come back, and I will show you how to do this. So the first thing I'm going to do is fold it in half, and I'm going to go ahead and put a small stitch right on the edge of the fold just because I like it to be in place. And as you can see, I'm staying very close to the edge of that fold. It's not even probably 1/8 of an inch seam, and I'm going to back stitch at the beginning and at the end. And so as you can see, this is just going to give me just a small little stitch here to hold that fold in place. So the first thing I'm going to do is take the top fold that I've already put the little edging on, and now I'm going to take the raw edge at the top, line it up with right sides together, and I'm going to go ahead and stitch down at a 1/4 of an inch the top part of this case. So I'm just going to start and back stitch and just sew the entire top 3 pieces. Since it's folded, it's 3 pieces together. And then I'll just remove the clips as I get close to those, and I'm just keeping it right on that 1/4 inch seam. And this is just going to help me keep it in place before I sew the sides. And I'm just going to flip it around after this and do the same thing on the bottom. And that way when I come back, I don't have to worry about this not being aligned or being straight, because I will already have the top secured with the fold, and I will already have the other piece of fabric with the fold also secured to the bottom. So once you finish this top and you've backstitched and you have that aligned, then you will do the same thing with the other half on the bottom of your case, and then we'll come back and sew the sides together. Okay, so now I'm going to just turn it, and you will see that I have the 2 flaps here. You can see right sides together, the middle is showing. I'm just going to now sew the sides. So again, I'm just going to line it up about a 1/4 of an inch. I'm going to go forward and back stitch, just like we did when we did the top and the bottom. Now we're just doing the sides. I do want to point out, when you get to where the 2 folds intersect each other, there should be a little overlap. As you can see, I have a small overlap here. If you want a larger overlap so that you don't have a pillow that is going to have big bulk in the back, overlap yours maybe 1.5 inches, and that way you can just make one panel 1.5 inches larger than the other if you want it to cover yours a little bit better. Again, I made mine bigger because my pillow is a 20-inch and I did a 21.5 inch. So mine should not cause any bowing, but if you're going to make yours pretty close to the size of the pillow, you may want to overlap yours 1.5 inches just to give you a little more wiggle room with the bulk on the back. Of course, no one's going to see that when it's against a couch or a chair, but it's still something that's cosmetic that you may like better if you just have a little extra overhang on the block that's going to be showing on that back side. And then one other tip that I want to give you guys, it's not necessarily required, but I am not a fan of raw edges, even if it's just going to be on the inside of a pillow where no one's really going to see it. So I like to take the zigzag stitch, or if you have a serger by chance, and serge the edges. Actually on my machine, for stitch number 12 on here, I can actually do like the serging edge. And so just to kind of show you guys kind of how that looks, I'm just going to change my foot, my stitch, I'm sorry, not the foot, but the stitch, just to kind of show you guys that you can now take the edge of this and just kind of line it up and just let it kind of go across your edges, and that'll take care of your raw edges. If you don't have a serging option, again, you can just use the same zigzag stitch that we use for embroidery, and then you don't have to worry about raw edges, you know, kind of coming unraveled inside the pillow. Again, it's not something that's necessary. I'm just the type of person that prefers to clean up those edges, and I just find it's nicer if I can serge it. So you can just kind of see here how that just takes that edge and just kind of helps finish that off on the inside. So you are going to do the left side, and then you're going to go back and do the right side, and then I will show you guys how to turn it and put your pillow inside. So now I have completely finished sewing and finished my edges all the way around. So now we're just going to take those flaps to flip it right side out. Make sure you poke those corners out really good. If you want to use something to help you do that, you can, but your finger pretty much will take care of it for this project. And I did not clip the corners on this one just because of the fact that it is a pillow and they're going to be fluffy most of the time when you put these covers on them. So as long as you get those corners pressed out as best you can, it should still look pretty good. So once you get all of your corners fixed, so now you have it right side out, you just need to slip your pillow in there, and you're just going to slip it. This is the 20-inch that I had, so you're just going to slip it over the top. And then just pull the bottom part over the bottom of your pillow. And then just fluff your pillow out however you want that to look. And so once you get that done, you have what looks like a brand new pillow now, and something that you can add for decor for the fall. So this is a very simple project. It's very user-friendly. You can change it out for every season. You know, Christmas is going to be coming, so you could start making some applique ideas for Christmas. And again, just to kind of show you guys, you can fluff this out however you want. On the back, if you do not want any gaps, this is where I mentioned, it depends on how you stuff your corners down in your pillow, if you do it the same size as the block. So if you stretch the corners out into the block, you may have just a small little gap or an overlap, but if you want yours to not have a gap at all, just go maybe 1.5 inches. You could even go 2 inches on the top one to just overlap that a little bit more, if that's going to bother you. But I hope you've enjoyed today's project, and I would love to hear from you guys. to see what kind of projects you would like to see, other ideas. I do have a couple more ideas for fall, but I do read the comments when they come, and we do take into account things that you want us to change or to do. And I want it to feel like your channel just as much as it's mine, because I would love for it to be a collaborative community where you guys give me feedback, you share your projects, and let me know how things are going or ask questions, and I'll be happy to answer those for you. So don't forget to like and subscribe and share if you know another person who would love to sew or make some projects. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video.